check the back. So watch this. We're going to go back to yours in a second. But the scene I created earlier, I said, if you had been sitting beside my wife and me, just a few moments later, on our beat-up black leather sofa, with the chocolate chip cookies baking in the background, you would have heard her say, stop. That's about 10 seconds. Visual, what could you see?
The couch.
The couch, what color is the couch?
Black.
Black. Auditory, who could you hear or what could you hear?
Your wife.
My wife. Kinesthetic, what could you feel? The leather. Somebody said the love. As you know, love and leather always go together. So long speech. And then what could you smell? The cookies. And you probably even taste them too. So in about 10 seconds, we checked the backs and brought you into that scene. You need to do the same on the bus. You know what a bus smells like. It's probably crowded because people couldn't sit down and so forth. All right? So the number one reason for moving on stage is an action in your story prompts the movement on stage. The number two reason is the stage is a timeline. In America, and even in Canada, we read from the left to the right. Now keep in mind, you have to be the aerobics instructor. You have to do it backwards. So watch this. This is the past, this is the present, that's the future. So I said, I joined Toastmasters in March of 1998. Got my CTM in March of 1999. Won the World Championship in August of 1999. You see how I created and walked the timeline? Subtly. And then, toward the end of my program, what if I went back and did a visual and verbal callback? But what if I had never joined Toastmasters? Where would I be today? You see how that works? All right, so it's all about the timeline and the action in your story prompting the movement. Good?
Yes.
Okay, now, let's get to the next part. There is a most important part of storytelling that breathes life into a speech, and it's called dialogue. Instead of narrating something, you want to give it in dialogue. So, for example, you said, and I couldn't believe that people wouldn't get up to give this lady a seat. Now, let's do that in inner dialogue so it comes more to life. What she could do instead is say, my goodness, I cannot believe nobody would get up and get this lady a seat. You see the difference? One, she's stating. The other one, she's reliving. Don't retell your story, relive it, and invite them into your reliving room. Okay? So, oh my gosh, I can't believe nobody's getting up to give this lady a seat. What? No, I gotta do something. Now, by the way, where were you sitting?
I was standing.
You were standing. Okay, very good. Keep making that clear.
My 3 bags. Remember?
All right, very good. So I want you to do that really quickly. Just do the inner dialogue rather than retelling them.
Oh my God.
With the microphone.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I can't believe nobody is getting up to give this lady their seat. What am I going to do?
Is that good?
Yes. Yeah.
See, what happens is when you're retelling it, you can't allow the emotions to come in. But when you're reliving it, you see the facial expressions. You see, what can I do? I got to do something about this. Okay? So storytelling is really about dialogue, and then it's about the reaction to the dialogue. Write this down. An underlying principle. Reactions tell a story. Reactions tell a story. So let's do this for a second. I'll do mine, then you'll do yours.
Okay.
Craig, you can win the World Championship of Public Speaking. See that? It's the reaction, it's the look before the line that matters. Craig, you can win the World Championship of Public Speaking. What are you talking about? I just lost. You see that? It's not the lines, it's the reaction between the lines. That's what's so important. That's what tells a story. So when that guy said to you, why are you asking me? I want to see your reaction. So go ahead and do that scene.
So I turned to the closest person. I turned to the young man seated, and I said, "Excuse me, would you mind allowing this elderly lady to sit down?" And he responded with, "Why are you asking me?" Because
You look as confused as you probably were. That is awesome. You see how that brings the story to life? Because now each one of us is thinking or hearing it how you heard it. And when we hear it how you heard it, we're all reacting like, ooh, that's nasty. And we're thinking of our own nasty neighbor or somebody on the bus next to us, right? So that's the dialogue. It brought it to a whole new level, and you did a great job with it, reliving it. Okay, and then you want to just be, I'm going to get some more people up here, but you want to be careful about generalizing. You say, there's a lot of social injustice because no one ever says anything. How does that make you feel as an audience? Hey, yeah, we never said anything. It's almost an insult. What you want to do is say, too often people don't say anything. Okay? And what I'm challenging you is the next time you're on your bus, step forward and say something. Make sense?
Sure.
Try not to generalize with always and everybody and nobody and those sorts of things. Now, the only part of this story that I think really needs to be fixed eventually is that you're the hero. You never really want to be the hero of your own story. When I was trying to decide whether or not to take the money that this vice president was offering me, who was the hero that gave me the great advice?
Your wife.
My wife. Don't make yourself the hero of your own story. And if you do, because you are in this one, if you do, just make sure that the other stories you tell within your speech, other people are the hero.
Can I not make the guy with the bike helmet be the hero?
Absolutely.
So as I'm standing there waiting and facing the front, going, wow, I'm really glad that that guy was able, stood up to give the lady the seat or something like that. Because then it wouldn't be like me. It was,
Well, I would still keep the story the way it is because this is the way it happened. But then you want to make sure that you say something like, even though I said it, he stepped up and did it. So that way you're at least sharing the credit here. Make sense? Because you don't want to change the story, you just want to change who the perception of the hero is. Good?
Yes.
Give Sandy a good hand.